Hello peeps, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be taking a look at Eria Plus by Xtremis Cartel. Now these guys are very much well known for their hardcore, well-dosed premium supplements. Obviously we've got high hopes for this one, and we'll be covering the usuals: taste, price, label, effects. Is it worth picking up for you? And if you're new here and you do happen to like our videos or find them useful, please do hit the like button, hit the sub button, tick the bell icon. So we try and put out about 3 reviews a week, but today, let's get into this one. So, first segment of any review, taste and mixability. And for you eagle-eye viewers, you'll know that it doesn't apply here because this comes in capsules, but it does still give me an opportunity to show you how big they are and explain any positives or drawbacks to the fact that it is a capsule-based supplement. So that's how big it is there. I'd say about typical. You know, it doesn't look any bigger than your typical size capsule supplement. So obviously positives, it's convenient, it's versatile. You know, you can have it in your gym bag, in your car, and you can take it at a moment's notice. The drawbacks are, might take a little bit longer to kick in, and some people just quite simply don't like taking capsules or pills or struggle altogether and can't do it. So it's going to depend on your own personal preference and if this is the right sounding supplement for you in the first place. And we're going to be getting into all of that now, starting with price. So if this sounds right to you, you'll head over to nutracartel.com where you can use code ReviewBros. You'll be able to pick up this 90 serving, 90 capsule container for $25.45 or 28 cents per the serving. Or if you translate it over into UK pounds, it comes to 22 pence a serving. Now we do have a consistent pricing scale that measures pre-workouts to see how expensive they fall. This obviously isn't a fully fleshed out pre, but just for the sake of it, it comes as a 10 out of 10 on the price scale. So it's priced extremely well, but it's not really fair because, as I say, it's not a pre-workout. It's just more for a reference point. So it's extremely cheap, very, very cheap compared to pre-workouts. Obviously, there's only 2 ingredients in this, which we'll get into shortly. So yeah, it is a very, very affordable product. So it's just going to come down to, is it worth it for your needs? But first, let's get into the label. So let's get into this label then, guys. And as I mentioned, it's only 2 ingredients, so it should be nice, quick and easy. So 1 capsule gets you the full serving amount, so that's all you're going to need. First up, we've got Eria Puro, which is a trademarked version of N-phenylethyl dimethylamine citrate, aka Eria, which I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of, at 250 milligrams, which is a really solid dose. You can sometimes see it at 300, 400, even 500 milligrams in some really stim-heavy, stim-junkie type products. However, 250 milligrams, especially as a purified trademark version, is a seriously solid dose regardless. Now that's going to help to increase levels of dopamine and noradrenaline within your brain, which is obviously going to lead to increased focus, drive, energy, mood. That's what they're going for here. And similar can be said actually for the next ingredient, which is Thin-Phen, a trademark version of beta-phenylethylamine, which I'm sure again you may have heard of, PEA, at another 250 milligrams, and similar mechanisms of action to the aforementioned ingredient, except this one helps to upregulate dopamine and norepinephrine levels within the brain, which again are going to lead to increased levels of drive, focus, energy, mood. So all the things that we're after, all the things it's claiming, and there is a nice synergistic effect between the 2 ingredients as well. So yeah, excited to see the effects of this one. Obviously I've used it several times, but let's get into the effects right now. Okay, effects of Eria Plus in the several times I've used it. So let's get straight into it. And it shouldn't be the longest effect section in the world, although I say that now, I could end up waffling, so bear with me. Although I will say the 2 ingredients in here are fantastic choices because, as I said, dosed well, trademark version, so you know you're getting the good stuff. Very synergistic together. So they're claiming here mood elevation, tight focus, and energy boost. So do I agree with those claims? Drum roll, yes, I very much do. So I use this in a couple of different settings, just for my own anecdotal experimentation, shall we say. So I used it as a standalone product with absolutely nothing else, but I also tried it with a caffeine capsule, which is 200 milligrams, because as you may or may not know, Nootropic type ingredients almost always work better when they have a caffeine backbone to work off of. And it's no different here in my experience. So what I'll do is I'll explain the effects as it is, just as it comes in the tub. And then pretty much when I took the caffeine pill, it just made that feel a bit more pronounced. So there was more pronounced focus, more pronounced mood elevation, more pronounced energy levels. But obviously that's to come to be expected with caffeine anyway. So yeah, it's up to you guys. If you have caffeine to hand, you know, just pure caffeine powder or capsules, you could indeed stack it with this to get even more out of the product. However, as I say, I'll just touch on my normal experience and you can just go with the fact that the caffeine addition just made everything feel a little bit more potent. So let's get straight into it. So you don't feel anything at all for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then you feel a very, very subtle increase in the aforementioned things: focus, mood, energy. And I have to say, I was very surprised how noticeable it ended up being. Like I say, it starts off very subtle. It's not an immediate kick in. It's not something that within a minute you're like, whoa. It settles into your brain very, very slowly. But after about an hour to an hour and a half, it's very clear that you've taken a nootropic. You know, you absolutely feel it. So let's just get straight into it and I'll tell you about my most recent experience, which was for legs. That was today. As I said, it slowly creeps up on you. I find myself doing a couple of exercises or even a few sets of the first exercise, and I just continue to get more and more locked in, more and more, I don't want to say euphoric, but definitely a noticeable mood increase. When I bumped into people down the gym, it was easy to get a conversation going with them, and I actually wanted to talk, which is quite surprising for me to say, because when I'm in gym mode, I don't really want to be social. So that could be a positive or a negative. But this made me want to talk more, and I just felt more enthusiastic, more motivated, not just with regards to the talking, but obviously the gym session itself. And I have to say, this could be my favourite Eria supplement. And I've used a few over the years, maybe several. This one definitely stands out to me, and I do think it's because it has that addition of the Fin-Phen, aka the PEA, which works fantastically alongside the Eria. I really do feel like they come together to make something special, and I'm sure anyone out there who's used these ingredients either standalone or together will agree with me in that they are very much noticeable and they do work fantastically together. As I said, the caffeine only makes it even more noticeable. So it goes without saying, I had a fantastic gym session every time I used them. I felt locked in, mood elevated, happy, enthusiastic, motivated. As I say, I was very much surprised by the effects. I honestly didn't expect them to be as noticeable as they were. So much so that I was very much excited to use them a second time and a third time, just to make sure that, you know, it wasn't a fluke or anything. But no, they are very consistent. I had no negatives to it, no drawbacks, you know, absolutely no downsides to it whatsoever. I didn't have a crash, I didn't have any jitters, I didn't have any appetite suppression, it didn't ruin my sleep, just nothing negative associated with it whatsoever. And I will also touch on the fact that I like the fact that you can take this alongside a pre-workout. So say you've got a sort of daily driver type pre-workout that you sometimes want to, you know, on more heavier days or intense days, perhaps you want to add a bit more oomph to it. This could be the perfect thing for you to stack alongside a normal pre-workout. Notice how I said normal, not a stim junkie one. You could also stack it with non-stims. You could also use it as a nootropic aid for things other than the gym. You know, it's not just for the gym. You could use it for your studying, for gaming, for social events, for other activities, anything where you just want to be a bit more on top of things, dialed in, focused, happier, more social, you know, any of the above, and this would be the perfect scenario for it. So what would I say in conclusion? I would say absolutely buy it if you're in the market for this type of thing as described. I would say it's hard to sniff at, it really is, especially for that price point. We're talking, what was it, 20 odd p a serving? You know, it's something you could just buy as a one-off, keep in your cupboard, and then use it for whenever you might need it. As I said, I've explained all the different scenarios that you might want to use it. So yeah, it absolutely gets my stamp of approval. I definitely think it's worth the price. I definitely think it's a nice, consistent, predictable, versatile product. And there's no reason for me to not recommend it. So yeah, I think the Xtremis Cartel have knocked it out of the park yet again. Although it's a simple product, it absolutely works as intended and has an audience out there ultimately. So yeah guys, let me know if you've used it, if you want to use it, anything else you want to see us review on the channel, comment down below. And as always, stay stimmed.